Hey, Battle Bill here with another video, and today we're going to get into some more Ultra League Go Battle League battles. Alright, I got another little shoutcast for you guys, submitted by a close friend of mine and one of the best trainers on Long Island, New York. One of the best. Can't say he's the best. I'm also on Long Island, but that's a conversation for another time. He put together a solid team here, a pretty unique team. It consists of a bunch of secondary Metamon, like Escavalier, Lapras, Gyarados, you definitely see all over Ultra League, but all together on one team, you might not see. So this is actually kind of like a double water strat like my last video, but using different Pokemon, has a different lead, and I'm excited to jump into these battles with you guys. Oh, also, before I forget, because usually I include this at the end of videos, but I've noticed that I get a little bit more growth if I include it in the beginning, and I hate to ask for it, but all the support is really appreciated, so if you guys could just like, comment, and subscribe, it would mean a lot to me. Let's really get into these battles now, because I want to give you the best possible content that I can. So, like I mentioned, the team my friend Radnitsky here has put together consists of an Escavalier lead with Lapras and Gyarados in the back. One thing that he had mentioned to me when we've been talking about the battles is he actually kind of relies on losing lead with the Escavalier lead because he uses Gyarados as a safe swap, and Gyarados is a safe swap, even though it's pretty glassy, can flip a lot of matchups. So, get into this first match, right on cue, he's already lost the lead. He's got an Escavalier on a Giratina Alter lead. He immediately goes for the Gyarados swap in, and his opponent is keeping in the Giratina Altered, and they're both dealing Dragon Breath damage to one another, and his opponent now just swaps into the Poliwrath to catch this Crunch. That was a really good play by his opponent because of the fact that Crunch would be super effective against Giratina Altered, whereas Poliwrath does resist it. So I'm curious to see if he's able to play his way out of this situation. It's not looking too positive. The charge moves from Poliwrath are going to either be Ice Punch, dealing neutral damage, or Dynamic Punch, dealing not very effective damage. In this case, it ends up being an Ice Punch, and that's the one little issue with Gyarados, is that it's pretty attack weighted, so it doesn't tank opponent or opposing moves too well. That Ice Punch did a lot considering it was neutral. He gets off another Crunch, he's chipping away at it. The Dragon Breaths are adding up on the opposing Poliwrath, but his opponent's definitely going to beat him to the next charge move. He's probably over-farmed, so I don't know if Nick is going to shield this or not. He lets the Ice Punch go through. It gets the Gyarados super low, and he's just able to get to a Crunch before he was going to get Mud Shot down. It helps that those Mud Shots are double resisted because of Gyarados' flying typing. He gets a shield out of his opponent, and that's pretty positive here. I'm assuming he would go into the Escavalier to counter down. That's what he is planning to do. His opponent's Poliwrath has a charge move here. It's probably going to be another Ice Punch. No, it's a Dynamic Punch. Okay. I didn't know he had enough energy for that, so that definitely hurts. That's an unfortunate situation to be in, but he does have shield advantage. He does not have switch advantage. He pulls a solid swap there. He's going to catch what should be a Shadow Sneak because Dragon Claw would have been resisted by the Escavalier. It is a Shadow Sneak, and now he's got the Lapras in, and his opponent matches with a Registeel. So his first match, not off to the best start. I don't really see him being able to pull himself out of this match. He's going to have to spam these surfs. He does have 2 shields, so he can protect himself from the Registeel and try to wait out the switch timer. That might be his only play here. So what we're going to just have to see is we're going to have to wait for these charge moves to go through. This is most likely going to be a Flash Cannon bait because of the fact that he has to shield. Wow, his opponent went straight for the Focus Blast. Interesting. I feel like Nick doesn't have a choice but to shield, so his opponent should have baited there, but hey, you know what? Sometimes sometimes the Lapras might not shield in that situation. If a Flash Cannon lands when it could have been a Focus Blast, then you regret it later on. So understandable that you're just going to go straight for the nuke move to try and apply that damage. So let's see if Nick decides to shield here. He does decide to shield late. It ends up being another Focus Blast. No baiting here. He's going to overfarm a little bit. He's going for the Surf here. I'm wondering if he's going to try to bring Escavalier back in. It looks like he got a little bit of extra energy on the Lapras because it was all the way up to an Ice Beam. The Registeel is in the red. He's building up a little bit more energy, and he's going for the swap. He didn't pull off the swap, unfortunately. The Registeel did not throw the energy. His opponent must have expected that to come through. He's going for a drill run here. The Giratina's got a lot of health. It's going to need more than one drill run. His opponent also has a shield, but doesn't really need to shield that drill run when the Lapras does have energy in the back. The Giratina Altered is now going to go for a charge move. This should be a Shadow Sneak. This might get the Escavalier to like 1 HP. Did it get to 1 or take it out? Oh, just straight up took it out. Alright. I thought it was going to do a tiny bit less damage. Doesn't really make a difference there. But now he's over farming a bit. He could, I guess he's committing to the farm down so he can try and spam 2 surfs. Oh, that might be his play here. Because this charge move is not going to take out the Lapras. He can Ice Shard down. He's got about 2 surfs right now. The first surf will go shielded. The second one will do enough damage to take out the Registeel. Is he going to really be able to pull this one off? I'm pretty sure I saw that charge move right. He should be at 2 surfs. He gets the second surf off. That's wild. Honestly, I counted him out way before we got to this part in the match. Really well played by Nick. This is how you can tell he's a high skill trainer, and he was able to escape that situation despite not really facing like a real positive matchup there. The Lapras on the Giratina Alter definitely helped at the end, but like his opponent didn't have a choice there. Alright, so I can't imagine how the rest of this set's going to go. That first match, we're off to a pretty crazy start. It's going up against Trent in the second match. You like that pronunciation? I did a great job there. He's got Escavalier on another Giratina, but this time Giratina Origin. Either way, both of these are not positive situations for his Escavalier. He goes for the immediate swap into his Gyarados, and his opponent is leaving in the Giratina Origin, probably farming up a bunch of energy, going for a charge move here, so that's pretty interesting. I'm wondering if he's going to try and bait. Nick shields, ends up being the Shadow Ball. Good call on that shield there. Now he can continue to Dragon Breath. His opponent swaps into a Gyarados of their own. So now he's at a health disadvantage and a shield disadvantage, but he does have 2 crunches, and these crunches will deal neutral damage to the opposing Gyarados. It's also going to take the opponent's Gyarados a little while to charge up to a crunch of its own, while he's able to get off 2 of these here before his opponent deals any damage. So he got the first shield. He's going for a second crunch here. Let's see if this one gets a shield. I don't think it will. It did not. Now they're at pretty even health, but he does have a little bit less. So it looks like his opponent's going to try, and he's going to succeed and get the Dragon Breath down. But he could... what's the play here? I wonder what he swaps in. He swaps in the Escavalier. Interesting. So the Escavalier is going to have to eat this crunch. Or is this... No, there's no way it's a Hydro Pump. He got a bunch of energy. It's a Hydro Pump! Oh, should have shielded that. That Gyarados did farm his Gyarados all the way down. So that makes sense. That was a Hydro Pump. That was pretty wild. So now his Escavalier is going to end up being in farm range. He definitely regrets not shielding that. As much as his Escavalier does not have a positive matchup against the Giratina Origin, he does swap his Lapras back in. He's Ice Sharding away. His opponent's leaving in that Giratina Origin again. So now the question is this going to be another bait, or is this going to be a bait, or is this going to be another Shadow Ball? Ends up being another Shadow Ball. Does a decent chunk to Lapras. He's going for the Surf now. This will not take out the Giratina Origin, so I doubt it gets a shield. It will be resisted by the Giratina Origin. It does not get a shield. His opponent is now swapping into a Charizard. And as much as Lapras has a type advantage, Surf does not one-shot a Charizard. So this is a tough situation. And I know I counted him out in the first one, so I don't want to count him out in this one. This is definitely going to be a Dragon Claw. He ends up shielding it. He didn't have a choice but to shield it. He can get the 2 Surfs, but one's going to get shielded. The other one is not going to take out the Charizard. There's no way. This time, he's not going to be able to pull out this match, unfortunately. He did play it really well, though. He'll most likely... Oh, he won't even get to the next Surf. Never mind. This should be another Dragon Claw. This will get the Lapras all the way out. It gets it to like 1 HP. So like, okay, he's getting the Surf off. He's getting the Surf off. I knew it was going to get him super close. This Surf is definitely not going to take out the Charizard. So once this goes through, the Charizard's going to be able to Fire Spin down. When the Escavalier comes back in, the Escavalier is going to get Fire Spin down. And unfortunately can't play your way out of every poor lead situation. But he did do a really good job. Alright, getting into his third match. He's currently 1-1, but what has to be kept in mind is he did lose both of those leads. So the fact that he was able to win one of those matches is pretty positive. This next match, he has Escavalier on Swampert, and I need to run the sim, but I'm pretty confident that Escavalier does win this because of the fact that it can shield and the counters deal more damage, but he goes for the immediate swap and brings in his own Gyarados to kind of counter the Swampert. His opponent's leaving in the Swampert, going for a charge move here. There should be a Hydro Cannon, even though it's single resisted. Gyarados is still pretty glassy, so when this comes through, it does do a good chunk, and now he's about 1/3 of his health down on his Gyarados. His opponent does now match his switch with a Registeel of his own. And now, what's important to note here is typically if that Registeel would have been immediately swapped in, the Gyarados would have won back switch advantage. but because of the fact that his opponent left in the Swampert, dealt some early damage first, and then brought in the Registeel, his Registeel does have a bit of an advantage here. So he charged all the way up for a Hydro Pump, but he is going for the Crunch here. Let's see if he's able to bait a shield out. He is able to bait a shield out, so now they're at an even shield situation. He's going back all the way up for another Hydro Pump, so let's see how this ends up getting played out. His opponent's going for a charge move. If this is a Flash Cannon, it will not take out the Gyarados, but he shields just to be safe. Okay. So now let's see if he's going to bluff again, or if he's going to go for the Hail Mary Hydro Pump. He's going for the Hail Mary Hydro Pump. So now if this gets through, it'll get the Registeel pretty low. It won't take it out completely, or he's going to grab this Registeel's last shield. He ends up grabbing the last shield, so now he's just going to commit to the Dragon Breath as much as he can to try and get to a crunch, but his opponent does get to another charge move here. This should be a Flash Cannon. This will not take out the Gyarados' remaining health. It will get it super low. You'll notice it's got a few HP left, and his opponent decides to swap the Swampert back in. That was a mistake. I think you're better off letting the Registeel eat the Crunch than bringing in the Swampert, because the Swampert could not have Mud Shot down. And then he throws a Crunch at it. He brings in his Lapras, which is going to counter this Swampert a lot better than the Escavalier. This was pretty quick. I'm pretty confident. Oh, I'm not confident at all. It is an Earthquake. Never mind. He was able to get that off. He's going to Ice Shard. He's going for the Surf now. This will take out the remaining health of the Swampert. But now the question is, where is that Registeel's energy? Do you bring the Registeel back in to essentially try and Flash Cannon or Focus Blast this Lapras' remaining health? So let's see what his opponent decides to do. Registeel's pretty low, but it's not going to be able to get Ice Sharded down. I don't think it was that low. But his opponent decides to just bring in the Cresselia. Okay, so now the play here is essentially just to get off as much damage before Cresselia is able to most likely throw Moonblast and debuff the Lapras. Some Cresselias are running Grass Knot though, and a Grass Knot would take out the remaining health of this Lapras. We'll find out very shortly what this opponent is running on their Cresselia. Ends up being a Moonblast. Let's see if it gets a debuff. Oh, he's going for the immediate swap. He's bringing his Escavalier back in. So now what is positive is that this Cresselia is not exactly in a Mega Horn range. This is most likely another Moonblast. Hopefully this does not get the debuff, or he's really not sitting in a good situation. It does not get the debuff. He's going to over farm. His opponent swaps the Registeel back in. Whoa, man, I completely forgot where that Registeel's health was. He had half his health left. I thought he was in the red. Either way, he's going to throw a Drill Run, so the opponent messed up the swap there. It gets the Registeel pretty low. A charge move from the Registeel won't take out the Escavalier. The Registeel couldn't even get a charge move off. So now he's going to go for the Mega Horn. This, will it take out? You know, I don't use Escavalier that much, so I don't really see how much damage ends up doing the Cresselias. It gets it super low. I didn't think it was going to take it out, but he is going to be able to counter it down just in time and win the third match of this set. So I do think that was a bit of a misplay on his opponent's part, bringing in the Registeel, but I guess he was trying to catch a Mega Horn, which would have kind of solidified the win for his opponent if he was able to do that. So far this set, we're seeing some really high-level gameplay, some really great matches. We're going into the fourth match right now. He's currently 2-1, and he gets an Escavalier on a Melmetal lead. So I think this is his real first confident, positive match here, because the counters are going to deal super effective damage against the Melmetals. The Drill Runs are going to do super effective damage. Melmetal's Rock Slides and Superpowers will both deal neutral damage to Escavalier. So I'm pretty confident that Escavalier should win out this lead. He does decide to shield. This ends up being a Superpower, and then his opponent goes to the swap into Swampert. He brings in his Gyarados. I think he could have gone for a bit of a safer swap and brought in Lapras here, especially because he doesn't know for sure if there's a Registeel in the back, and Gyarados would have a better matchup against that Registeel, whereas the Lapras would have had a much better matchup against his Swampert than his Gyarados. So he gave up a shield. He is going for the Crunch here. This will most likely get a shield from his opponent. It's not going to take out the Swampert, but if this opponent wants to get switch advantage, he's going to need the shield. He doesn't shield. He's going for another Hydro Cannon here. So Nick's not going to use his shield here. Don't blame him. He already used one. Definitely don't want to be down 2 shields and no shields. Now they're both around similar health, but he can commit to a Dragon Breath down if he wants to give up another shield. So that's going to have to be a decision. I think, yeah, the Swampert is going to get to another Hydro Cannon here. This will take out the remaining health of the Gyarados. He decides to shield it to be safe. I don't blame him. I'm pretty confident it would have taken him out. And he Dragon Breaths down to keep switch advantage. But now he's down 2 shields and no shields, and that is concerning. Especially because that Melmetal, if it really wants to, can like commit to a Thunder Shock down of the Gyarados, because Thunder Shocks are going to be double super effective against the Gyarados. So he gets off this crunch. This will most likely get his opponent's first shield. It does not get his opponent's first shield. Fascinating. Honestly, if I was his opponent, I would have shielded that, because see how he's committing to that Thunder Shock down? Could have had a Melmetal with a lot more health here, whereas now he brings in the Escavalier. He's fully loaded. He's going for a charge move. Let's see what his opponent decides to go for. Ends up being the Rock Slide this time. The Rock Slide is neutral. I was wondering why he even went for the Superpower the first time. And he brings in a Giratina, so you know what? Bringing in the Gyarados first and having the Lapras in the back worked out a lot better for this match. My apologies, Nick. I was wrong. What do I know? But honestly, though, if it wasn't Registeel, he would have been in a much worse situation. I don't want to say he lucked out, but it's a positive thing that ended up being a Giratina Altered. But this Giratina Altered still has 2 shields. So he needs to charge all the way up to an Ice Beam and essentially bait multiple times. Luckily, these Ice Shards from Lapras do a ton of damage, and the Dragon Claw that just went through from Giratina Altered really doesn't hurt the Lapras too much. He's going for his first Surf here. Honestly, if I was his opponent, I kind of would try and call the bluff. I don't know. I don't know if that's a safe way to do it. His opponent shields. I don't blame his opponent there. Now he's going to be able to continue to Ice Shard down. His opponent's going for another charge move here. This is going to definitely be another Dragon Claw. It's going to get the Lapras a little bit lower. Not going to take it out for sure. Not even get it in the red. He's charging back up to another Ice Beam. He's going for the Surf this time again. The question is, does his opponent want to call him on any of these bluffs? I don't know. It is risky, because if an Ice Beam goes through, it's going to take out the Giratina Altered. His opponent shielded both of them, understandably so. He swaps in the Melmetal, and he counters with his Escavalier, goes immediately for the Drill Run, and honestly, that was a great play. I think this is what's going to win him this match, because I think that Melmetal had some leftover energy. He's going to be able to get to another Drill Run before his opponent's Giratina Altered is going to be able to get off a charge move. This will not take out the Giratina Altered, but it's going to be pretty tough for the Giratina Altered to commit to a farm down. So let's see. Yeah, especially because it's running Shadow Claw. He might. Ooh, his opponent's going for the charge move. This should be. It's Dragon Claw take out. It's going to be resisted. It's a Dragon Claw. It does not take out, and he gets Shadow Claw down. I didn't think Dragon Claw would, but it ended up working out a little bit better for his opponent. He's going for another charge move here. This is another Dragon Claw. This isn't going to take out the Lapras either, technically. It's got to like 1 HP. And then he falls to the next quick move. Oh, that was a devastating one. That was a really close match. He ended up winning lead in that situation, so that was unfortunate. Nothing but close matches in this set. You really love to see it. He's going into the 5th match. He's currently 2-2. So let's see. My friend's been ranting and raving about this team. I hope he's able to pull off a positive set for the YouTube video. He did submit me this clip. So he's got an Escavalier on an Articuno lead here. I ran the sim on this recently because I decided to try out Articuno as a lead, and Articuno technically wins this, but with like 4 HP, and that also falls on the Escavalier going for the Drill Run. He looks like he's going for the Mega Horn. He's not going to shield the first Icy Wind that's coming through, so it's going to debuff his attack. He's going to go for the Mega Horn here. Let's see if his opponent decides to still shield it. He most likely will, especially if the Articuno feels like it's going to outpace the Escavalier. He does not shield it. Interesting. Okay, so now based on the sim, the shields were used in the first charge move, so I'm quite curious to see how the rest of this matchup is going to play out. His opponent's going for another Icy Wind here. The Escavalier would be able to survive it. He's not going to shield it. It gets him closer to the red. He's not quite in the red yet. His attack is double debuff now. He's over farming. He's now going for a Drill Run. This is definitely not going to take out the Articuno, but let's see if it's going to grab his shields. It does grab the first shield, so his opponent is committing to essentially trying to win out lead. He's able to get another Drill Run off. So that Articuno not shielding like the first charge move was a big mistake on the Articuno's part. And he gets the Drill Run off. It doesn't take out the Articuno, unfortunately. And there... Oh! How did that happen? It did look like that Articuno missed out on Ice Shard, but wow, that Escavalier survived with a 1 HP and he's got shield advantage. That's huge. Unfortunately, his Escavalier can't stay in for the Lapras because now the Escavalier's down, but he brings in his own Lapras to match the Lapras, and this is going to be a very long, drawn-out trade of Surfs. So let's see who's going to decide to swap first. I'm wondering what his opponent's third Pokemon is. Oh my god, let's grab some popcorn. We're gonna be here for a little while. I don't really have too much to say. We're gonna just have to wait for all these surfs to go by. I should get the what TV show was it? Do 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 do. That's not even the right jingle. Alright, forget it. Anyhow, we're gonna be here for a while. So they're gonna keep on trading surfs. It doesn't look like his opponent's gonna swap out. He's definitely not going to bring in his Gyarados here because Gyarados is going to have a less positive matchup against the Lapras, and he's got shield advantage, so he really doesn't have too much to worry about. They're about at even health. His Lapras seems to have a little bit less. I don't know, it's hard to tell. But overall, let's talk about the team because we're going to be here for some time before this Lapras matchup ends. Double water in the back, it concerns me to something like, obviously, a grass type similar to my last video where I talked about the double water strat. Cresselia concerns me in the back too, especially one with Grass Knot, because Gyarados will take neutral damage, and Gyarados is glassy. Lapras will take super effective damage. You definitely want to see Cresselia as a lead, because Escavalier would be the main counter for the Cresselia, and if the Escavalier gets debuffed, then you got a real issue there too with Cresselia. So I would say Cresselia is a big weakness. Giratina Alter doesn't seem to be too much of a weakness. As the lead, it's definitely a problem, but Gyarados and Lapras can both deal solid damage against it. Swampert, he seems to have a bunch of Pokemon that can handle Swampert. And then Registeel, he does have Gyarados, who wins very closely, and he has Escavalier, who wins a little bit less close. But depending on energy and shields, like if it's a straight up lead situation, then Escavalier would win it. But if it's not, then like and the Registeel has some energy, the Registeel could potentially flip it depending on the situation. Either way, we finally got through that Lapras matchup. He brings in his Gyarados to go up against his opponent's Charizard, and this is GG for his opponent. He's got a 2 shield advantage. Charizard takes a minute to get to its charge moves. These are most likely going to both be Dragon Claws just to get the shield. Here comes a Dragon Claw right now. Honestly, if I was his opponent, I probably would just quit because he doesn't even need to... I mean, he's probably going to charge up 2 crunches, and if his opponent really wants to play this out like it looks like his opponent wants to do, he's probably going to end up just throwing both crunches when he has them. He's shielding both these charge moves. It's another Dragon Claw. Even if the Charizard gets to a Blast Burn here, look at how long that Lapras matchup took. The timer for the match is about to run out. I really should have brought some popcorn for this 5th match. But he's going to go for a crunch here. He's going to definitely kill out the remaining timer. He was going to win this either way. He gets to the 2nd crunch here just to really put the icing on the cake because his opponent wanted to play the remaining time out of this match. This crunch will take it out. The Lapras has like 1 HP in the back. But time is up and he's able to take the 5th and final match of this set. So, other than that extremely long, drawn-out Lapras matchup in the 5th match, those were some really exciting matches. Definitely some high-level gameplay. Appreciate Radnitsky for submitting the clips. Let me know what you thought of the team. I do like the team. I think I tried it for 1 match, and then I won my match with that team, but I haven't given enough play to really go through all the specific situations. Whenever I talk about a new team, especially in a condensed meta like Ultra League, I try to focus on its potential matchups against the main meta like I just gone over when that Lapras matchup was taking forever. But if you feel like I missed anything or you feel like you want to add anything onto the conversation, please let me know in the comment section below. Other than that, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.